on the Paul George podcast, the podcast P, Draymond Green says Jarett Jack was his number one veteran. And this is something we have not talked specifically about Jarett Jack, but we have talked about the importance of veterans. And I think Draymond Green hit the nail on the head. Like, he said he would not have been able to get through his rookie season without Jarett Jack, someone he still talks to, someone he still, calls and texts regularly. I think it's just so important. And like a lot of the last couple seasons when Ronnie Magruder was on the roster, you saw a lot of fans say, why are we giving this guy a roster spot? Why are we doing this? Why are we doing that? Because, like, he's a guy that's been around the game and a part of, especially the NBA game, for so many years. There are things that go beyond the court that rookies and young players need to know. That's why you want to have a veteran that can, show them the way, that can kind of protect them a little bit, can tell them, when we're in this city, these are the spots you want to hit. These are the spots you want to stay away from. If you need someone to talk to about what's going on, someone that needs to help you kind of restore your confidence or whatever, look at me. I've been in the league for a long time. I've had my ups and downs. Everything you're going through, I have gone through at some point in my career. That's why veterans are important. I'm so glad Draymond Green brought him up, especially Jarett Jack, because he is on the coaching staff for Detroit, and I think he's going to continue that mentorship here in Detroit, man.
Yeah, I thought that, like, he had mentioned a lot of vets. He said, like, David Lee, David West, but he said Jarett Jack was my number one vet. He was the one guy that I respected the most. And I think that really stood out to me because he's coaching your summer league roster right now.
Yep.
He's an assistant that came over from Phoenix with Monty Williams. Monty Williams coached him in New Orleans. Jarett Jack was just a bucket in 2K too, by the way. But I love the fact that Draymond did give him his flowers, letting him know, like, hey, like that's a guy that I respect. That's a guy that I love. He showed me the ropes. And I think, to your point, you do need guys like that. You need vets on your team that can relate to these players. And I think having a former player can relate to your current players even more, in my personal opinion. Like, I look at what the Detroit Lions are doing right now with all their former player coaches, and it seemed to be working. Like, they went on a run last year. I know I really hate comparing football to basketball, but you can kind of get what I'm saying. I think Jack being on this coaching staff is really going to help these guards, in my opinion, because he was a really good guard during his playing day.
Oh, yeah, and he was still playing into, like, his late 30s in the G League. I think he was originally part of the G League Ignite when they were first starting up, and part of all of that bring along some of these young guys. Like, I love Jarett Jack, and you were right, dude. He was a killer in 2K, and he was, every time I did a fantasy draft in 2K, he was always available, so you'd end up on all my rosters. I love Jarett Jack.